Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with another Fan TV, man. Back at you. The video at the content of this video, go smash that like button at the content of this channel. Go hit subscribe, man. Look, so it's officially here, man. It's draft week for the NFL. The Ravens going to add tangible players to the roster throughout, the end of this week, right? No more guessing, no more debating about what's going to happen here and there. I'm excited to see who the Ravens are going to eventually add to this roster and build towards that Super Bowl caliber kind of team, right? Now, what I want to talk about today is the fact that this particular draft for Eric DeCosta is probably the most important draft for him as the Ravens general manager. Okay, and I want to talk about why. Right, okay, so the main fact is that 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, really, the Ravens traded back into the first round, and they got their franchise quarterback. Right, they got Lamar Jackson. Right. I was listening to the Ravens Lounge podcast, and it turns out that Steve Bisciotti had a lot to do with that. Right, he told everybody to take an extra look at Lamar Jackson. He was really interested in drafting a quarterback, and Lamar was that guy he was really, really interested in. All right. So, shout out to Steve Bisciotti for that. Okay. But the Ravens struck gold and they found Lamar Jackson, right? When other teams were sleeping on them, they drafted him. Okay, cool. All right. Two-time MVP. Now, what comes with that is being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's contract time, right? He got paid. There was obviously a little bit of drama around that, but to me, it was just fair negotiations. It's how it goes, right? But anyway, when Lamar Jackson gets paid, and now when you have a quarterback that makes top echelon kind of money, you have to reconstruct your roster a little differently, right? Lamar Jackson is 100% deserving of that money, and I'd rather have Lamar Jackson on that contract on the Ravens than to worry about who's the next quarterback going to be for Baltimore, right? So I'm 100% happy he got the deal, right? But for Eric DeCosta, that means you have to have a better draft strategy, right? For the Ravens, they talk about is that the foundation, the lifeblood of the organization is the draft, the draft, the draft, the draft. Well, this is the time to really show it and prove it, okay? Because when you look at how other teams have built through the draft, when you look at, well, particularly what I'm talking about is the Kansas City Chiefs, right? When you look at how they have built through the draft, particularly after paying Patrick Mahomes and losing good players, right? We gotta be honest, right? The Ravens have lost, multiple guys that I expected the Ravens to lose, honestly. So it's not like anything that was a big shocker, but you still got to replace starting level players, right? All right, guys like Morgan Moses, who I expected, Patrick Queen definitely expected to leave, guys like that, right? You still have to be able to replace those guys, right? Now, for Eric DeCosta, in my opinion, this kind of draft where the Ravens are currently set up, right? Picking 30, 62, 93, and then some picks after that, right? The Ravens probably need to find, right, as difficult as it may sound, 3 to 4 starters in this draft class right here, right? They need to probably have wide receiver, tackle for sure, maybe a guard, edge, corner. I know everybody's kind of concerned about corner. Cornerback to me is not as high as a priority to me as it may be for other people, but I can understand the need for that or why people might be concerned about outside corner particularly. But I'm not as concerned about that. But definitely tackle, wide receiver, edge. The Ravens need to add a starter from the draft into that room, right? Now, I brought up the Chiefs earlier, right? And this is because when you look at the Chiefs draft classes that have kind of propelled them towards this back-to-back championship run, right? Listen, when you go back-to-back championships, right? Other teams are going to be looking at you and seeing, well, what did they do to get to where they were, right? It's just human nature, right? All right. Now, outside of having Patrick Mahomes is a major factor in that, right? I'm not going to downplay the importance of having a Patrick Mahomes, right? But the Ravens have Lamar Jackson, right? A pretty damn good quarterback in his own right. So, yes, you need a great quarterback, great scheme, things like that. I think the Ravens have the great quarterback. I like what Todd Monken can do. I think he expands on. I think the Ravens have some weapons, right? Need to add a couple more things, but I think the Ravens have weaponry, okay? But when I look at the Chiefs' last 2 draft classes, right? This is the Chiefs' 2022 draft class, right? This is after they traded Tyreek Hill. It looks like people were saying, myself included, a couple years ago, well, we're going to see what Patrick Mahomes really can do. Chiefs are going to be on a downturn. That didn't happen, right? Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Leo Chanel, Isaiah Pacheco, Brian Cook, right? McDuffie, Karlaftis, Pacheco, and Brian Cook are 4 starters from that draft. And Leo Chanel, he pretty much fills in from time to time at linebacker. Hell, he might be their starting linebacker this year with I think they lost Willie Gay in free agency. All right, so Leo Chanel might be one of their starting linebackers this season. All right, So you could be talking about 5 potential starters from one draft class. All right. The Ravens have to look to have that kind of impact. Is it going to be easy? No, of course not. But this is what they have to do. This is why this is one of, if not the most important drafts for Eric DeCosta since he's officially taken over as general manager, right? This is the kind of draft where you can set yourself up to not just be a Super Bowl contender, but a team that actually wins the entire thing, takes it across the finish line, okay? Once again, then in 2023, right, the Chiefs, they draft Rashee Rice, right? They had a big hole at wide receiver. After losing Tyreek Hill, they kind of pieced it together when their first championship, Travis Kelce, things like that. Travis Kelce kind of took a downturn during the regular season last season, right? They draft Rashee Rice, and he's their best receiver on the team. Now he's going through his own legal troubles right now, so we'll see where his career ends up, or if he's just suspended for a couple of games, whatever. But when they needed him during his rookie season, he stepped up and he played well, right? So my point being is that when you have your quarterback on a massive contract, right? We can talk all we want about how the Ravens didn't maximize Lamar Jackson on a rookie deal. They didn't take advantage of the savings at quarterback when they had the opportunity to take advantage of those savings. And I agree with you 100%, right? But at the end of the day, the past is the past. We can't go back to 2020 and say, hey, look, you have a superstar quarterback. Let's get rid of Greg Roman. Let's build a more up-to-date modern offense, and let's go all in on talent on offense and defense and win a Super Bowl. Start from right there, right? We have love to see that, yes, but that's just not what happened. Okay, cool. Now you're at the point where you pay the superstar quarterback. Now you have to be able to draft and develop talent. All right. The Ravens are pretty good at this at pretty much every position except for wide receiver, but they've kind of gotten better over the years. Hopefully with the addition of Keith Williams is not here anymore, but with Keith Williams, Greg Lewis, guys like that, right? But so for the Ravens, this draft class is extremely, extremely important, right? Like I said, the Chiefs turned around and gave four starters in year one in 2022, right? Chanel, three starters in year one, Pacheco, and then Brian Cook kind of took over that starting role last season, all right? So that's the kind of draft class the Ravens need to have, right? I'm not sitting up here trying to compare them back and forth because it's all day long, but you have a team that, like I said, won back-to-back championships. That's what's going to happen, right? It's proof that you have your superstar quarterback. If you can draft correctly and you can hit on your draft picks, you can really reload your roster, right? And if the Ravens always talk about, since Ozzie Newsome, since the very, very first draft, right, when you get Ray Lewis and Jonathan Ogden, okay, that the Ravens are a team that wants to build through the draft. They want to be a team that is known for drafting well. And the Ravens definitely have that reputation around the league, okay? So this is not a draft class, in my opinion, where the Ravens can draft guys that they hope to hit in 3 years, right? When we look at like the 2021, whatever year when it was Patrick Queen and Matabike and guys like that, right? That draft class that really hit on last season. Now, listen, that's great. Those guys end up hitting, right? But the Ravens probably need more instant impact starters, right? This is not really a draft and develop kind of situation for me, right? If you want to really maximize this team and what you have, they have to come away from this draft with 3 to 4 starters. And that's just the expectation that I have. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, man. But, I've been gone for a little bit. I'm going to try to get back to doing the videos now that we have actual football things to talk about. But, let me know your ideas, your thoughts in the comments. But it's Gary Root, another Fantasy Geek. I'm out.